Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us. K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. I am Ace, and you are watching another episode of Tuesday Night Mania. Let me introduce to you the guys that we have tonight. Number one, let's welcome in Big B. How you doing tonight, my man?
Hey, I'm doing great. Glad to be on the show again. Feels like forever since we've last talked. I know it's only been a couple weeks, but seems like forever. But I'm glad to be back with, my wrestling bros.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and welcome in the man, the myth, the legend. We call him Mr. William Hudson. How's it going tonight?
Hey, it's going great. How's everybody doing? Glad to be back. Got a lot to talk about. A lot going on. I had a big adventure this past week, and I'm not even caught up. I'm still tired, fighting off whatever cold or flu Joe gave me the last time I saw him. So just trying to hang in there.
Sounds like it's all Joe's fault. But anyways, let's welcome in that man that we call Joe. Joe. How's it going tonight?
Good, man. You see that, right? I seen your little Packer thing up there. Mine says NFC Champions on my hat up there, But my promo picture, I got a problem with that. That's when I was like a couple years younger, and I got a little more gray in my beard, man. I'm a little disappointed in that.
Yeah, but you see your picture works perfectly because it's one of those things that you don't actually have to have like a costume or anything for it because you fit so well. It fits so well.
I know, and it just made me depressed. I'm like, man, look at all that gray in my beard now. Holy cow.
Don't get too depressed. It's called old age, man. I'm just kidding.
Well, it's called wife and kids, really, but in my sick habit that I have, collecting action figures or toys, as my wife calls them. But one day that's going to be left to her, she's going to live high on the hog and with a big old mansion somewhere, and I'm going to be just in a grave.
Well, with that, how about we go ahead and we get into our first topic, which is a little bit of a AEW breakdown, which will be talked about by our man, Joe. So, Joe, what do you have for us?
Bros, I'm a little disappointed this week because I watched it last week, but I was so busy. Well, I had pneumonia last week, so what is Will doing over there? I see a big old giant thing in the. I don't remember a whole lot about it. I'm gonna try to do the best I can. I think the CM Punk and MJF storyline feud is going good. I like their mic work a little bit, but I was reading online and I kind of agree with Booker T and Bubba Ray on that MJF should go over more on that mic and CM Punk, being the veteran, just sit back a little bit and just let MJF say whatever he wants to say with it, and then come full bore later on with it. But I love the mic skill. I'm hoping that CM Punk just finally stops being PG Punk, like MJF says, and just rips loose and does a major pipe bomb. I kind of like a little bit that they're taking jabs at WWE a little bit with Miz and Triple H and things like that. I think that's a little funny. But overall, we're starting to build the Hangman Page Bryan Danielson match. I think Page is going to go over on that. Still, I think it's too early to take it off Page. And we're getting down to the finals of the TBS Women's Tournament here soon. Rampage keeps tanking every week. And actually, Dynamite's ratings were still good this week, or last week. So they're normal.
But can we officially say? But can we officially say that the CM Punk effect has now started to wear off a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, because they're just it's a novelty act. I think really I like that he's on Dynamite a little bit, but less is more. Less is more. And same thing with Bryan Danielson. And Bryan has already said that too. He wants to be not on TV as much, so I think that's going to happen down the road. But I think CM Punk too, less is more. If you get it every week, you're not happy with it anymore.
Well, I think people were so shocked that when he debuted, it was over 1 million views when he debuted, but then it's gone from like 1 million views down to like 600,000 or something like that. So everyone's like, man, look at that drastic drop off just within that time of 1 million down to that. So you can clearly see that the CM Punk effect is starting to wear off a little bit. Yeah, well,
and I don't blame that all on
Over
him
2
either.
million views.
Yeah,
Over 2 million views.
of what?
dropping.
CM Punk
When
debuted.
Punk debuted.
Yeah, he had
Oh,
over
yeah.
2 million views. And I don't blame that all on Punk either. I blame that on storylines and things that AEW's doing. They're kind of just pushing people and pushing matches instead of slowing things down and taking what they have and building it a little bit. So it's not all CM Punk's fault that the ratings are the way they are. I mean, I like watching it, but I mean, I'm tired of seeing 80, 90 super kicks a match. I remember back in the day when Shawn Michaels hit a super kick, you knew it was over with. The match was over. You know, now you hit 4 or 5 super kicks in a row and it's almost predetermined now. It's not fun. So they need to slow that down a little bit. And I think then once they do that,
Is it
they'll get
even-
right back up.
Is it even a super kick now, or is it just a kick?
I feel it's just back in the day, remember it was called a crescent kick. Now it's super kick. Now they're calling it the elite super kick. I don't know.
Elite super kick, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm watching AEW is like watching Lucha Libre. Everybody's flying all over the place, taking high spots that don't need to be taken half the time. The Cody Rhodes match, that for what it was good. But if you're going to go through a table, just a piece of advice, and I'm just a wrestling fan, don't put the stuff on the back of your back to make it look like that that you're going to be the one going through the flaming table at the end of it. He had that stuff all over his back. I thought he had a third-degree burns already before the match even started. I thought he had a horrible burn.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll turn this over to sorry guys, I'm drinking some hot tea here, but we'll turn this over to Will now. So Will, you kind of give us the Impact breakdown.
Not really much to talk about on Impact. I don't really know much that's changed. I know they're keeping their focus in Las Vegas, which is a big thing. But other than that, not really much going on there. Hottest thing going is still Mickey James, in my opinion, there. So I don't have a whole lot to talk about with Impact. So
I'll add to Will's thing because I know he was gone with the Impact. W. Morrissey, man, he turned loose last week, so that's setting it up. I hope that Morrissey gets the championship or builds towards it. So that was probably the biggest thing out of Impact, other than what Will says, Mickey James being the hottest thing, is now they've switched their focus. It's Morrissey and Matt Cardona involved in the world title picture.
Well, I don't know if you guys saw this, though, too. I did put it in the chat, but I showed, it was a couple weeks ago. They had their lowest viewed show in a very, very long time. They had like 50,000 or 60,000 views, and that was the worst that they've had in a very, very long time. Like, it was bad. Their viewership was horrible.
Well, it was that house show, that thing that they did last year, the house Wrestle House, and I was those 50,000 people that watched it, and it was horrible. But
didn't Matt Cardona just show up on
Matt Cardona? Yeah,
didn't he show up on NAW Power?
NWA Hard Times showed up after Trevor Murdoch won, and
All right, so
as
a
wrestling fan, did he just say NAW?
he did.
I was trying to think of Power, and I was screwing up.
He's trying to do AEW. I think he's back.
right?
ANWA.
Something like that. Yeah, something like that.
ANW. Yeah, we'll just combine them all, and we'll call it good. All right, so
I need to edit that out.
Everybody's show now.
The next one we have is, so we're going to talk about current WWE rumors. So when we talk about like current WWE rumors, I think a big one that's going around right now that a lot of people saw about, was basically, Jeff Hardy getting sent home. But it turns out that I don't think it's really what people thought it was. I know because it was really weird because he just left the match. He like made a hot tag and then he left the match, walked out in the crowd, and nobody saw him after that. And then he was sent home, and everyone's like, he just seemed to be kind of wearing down. So people were very, very concerned that maybe he was taking drugs again, and so they thought that that might be a big thing. But Big B, what's your thoughts on this Jeff Hardy?
Yeah, I'm seeing or reading, people are speculating it's drugs, alcohol, and then some are speculating, like you said, Ace, that he's probably just getting beat up and wore down and just, left himself. So I don't know. I hope the best for him either way. Hopefully he's getting better and hopefully he's recouping. Hopefully it's not his past coming back to bite him again, because I think that might be the last straw for WWE and him.
It's not.
So.
Yeah,
it's not.
Okay.
I don't think we should even speculate. I don't even think we should speculate on that. It's not. I just saw him last Friday, took a picture with him, talked to him, got a bunch of stuff signed. It's not, man. He's clean. He's healthy, but he's just wore out. He's totally drained. I saw the guy, and I mean, the guy's just wore out. The guy, throughout the years, I was never really a fan. And but later in time, I became a fan. And then once I first met him the first couple of times and really got to talk to him, the guy's so down to earth. He's a great guy. I wouldn't even speculate. I would say sober and clean, healthy, looked great, but looked exhausted. And I talked to him, and I mean, literally, when I talked to him, he left SmackDown 20 minutes earlier. Come in there, looked like he just jumped out of the shower, threw on some clothes, and come in there. So he's in good shape. I think, it's getting to him. These guys are, half the damn locker room's gone. So they're wearing out the ones they have. They're beating them down. They're using them every night, 300 nights a year. And, when you start getting older, he made the comment when he saw him Friday that, he's just old and beat down, So I just wanted to throw that in there. I had the opportunity to talk to him personally one-on-one, and I can tell you he looked very clean, very sober. I had more alcohol in my system than he did, and I had a Bud Light.
Yeah, but
I guess that's good then.
Yeah, because he's definitely not getting any younger. So you can definitely see it's got to be fatigue, because he's wrestling a lot, and so you can clearly see, because it's. I love how they're using him right now, because they're actually kind of making him not really main event, but they're actually giving him kind of more of a spotlight than what they were before. So I really like where they're going with it. So since Will, you kind of cleared that up, now we can kind of maybe talk about some different WWE rumors that you might hear currently. So, Joe, since we heard from Big B and Will, what do you have for us?
I don't know what happened on NXT tonight, but obviously we are looking at possibly Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, and Johnny Gargano being gone. I know that Johnny Gargano signed a contract extension long enough to do War Games, and then he talked to the crowd afterwards and said he would let everybody know tonight what was going on. Like I said, I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know what the story is. But the rumors were that if either one of them did sign, that one of them probably would be taking some time off, which would be Johnny Gargano, because his wife being pregnant, and I think pretty close or within time here going to be having a little one. So if he did resign, he'll be the one taking time off. And Kyle O'Reilly, he had his match tonight. I know he was doing a steel cage match. That could have been his swing out song, just putting over the young talent and heading out the door and off to AEW. So
yeah, it sounds like
the only thing I seen. I know Braun Strowman returned to the ring this weekend up in Wisconsin at Blizzard Brawl, and all of his proceeds from his match went to the Waukesha family up there, that the parade that they had, and that driver went through and unfortunately hit all those spectators. So him and all his and EC3's proceeds went to the families up there. So other than that, rumors, I haven't really heard anything other than what we have been speculating on what's going on. So
Well, here's
So
a
major
Oh, go ahead.
props to Braun. Major props to Braun for doing that, because that's what it's all about right there. That's incredible. The second thing is, real fast, I'm sorry, Ace, I wanted to show you that picture. I had a whole stack of those done by Jeff, and you can see how clean and neat his autograph is. That's not what somebody that's intoxicated can do.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
have
No,
a
I'm
stack of
glad,
those
I'm glad
done
he's not.
last Friday.
yeah, and
He has
I
one. He
think
has one of the best autographs in the business, and you guys know I have that stuff for sale. But I had a whole stack of those done, and I had some other stuff done that's beautiful too. So I just wanted to make sure I threw that out there. And yes, major props to Braun. Those guys. Anytime you can do that stuff, it's incredible. Also, too, kind of off topic a little bit, the Lions head coach with their Lions win this weekend, donating that football and some other stuff to the Michigan school and all that. That's incredible, too. Anytime anybody is very selfless, makes a selfless act like that, that's what it's all about. That's how it should be. Go ahead, Ace. I'm sorry.
That's good. So before I finish saying what I was going to say, I was going to hit on a few of these topics, or a few comments. But Kev Buckler is saying drunk on a Bud Light. that was what he was asking. And then Christy Wilson was saying cool picture, Will. So she likes your picture. And then we also have a comment from Michael that's saying my cousin's good friends with Hardy. And she said he's burnt out and tired, not a drug or alcohol issue. So there you go.
Yeah, and I want to touch on something that Will was saying too. When Jeff did leave the ring, he went out through the crowd, and the people were saying that he was very vocal with them and like high-fiving them and stuff like that. So it could very well be that. And let's not forget too, guys, WWE went back on the road in June or July it was?
Yeah.
They've been running nonstop.
Yeah.
House shows. These guys were off for a year and a half, doing 1 or 2 shows a week, depending on, or if they taped a whole bunch of Raws and SmackDowns. So they had a lot of free time. And then to go from that to back on the road, basically every weekend pretty much. And, you're doing the super shows, but it's the same guys as you look, fighting every single week. So they really have not had no downtime. And then, like Will says, you release over 300 people. There's not a whole lot of time to recuperate, because you have to be the next guy up to do your match or whatever the case may be, or like Will says, fly home and do an autograph. I'm not even sure he was even scheduled for that autograph that Will went to. I think he might have just popped up into there. So that was cool for him to do that. So it's just, I feel bad for these guys because they're just running hard right now.
So before
we
move on, I saw a rumor about Elias that they're scrapping his gimmick because he said it looked too much, or it was tailor made too much like Randy Savage. So we're supposed to get Elias soon, but now they're going to repackage him again. So we'll see what happens there.
Disappointed in that, because I kind of could see Elias pulling off that Macho Man.
I thought he was cool too.
Oh yeah, just thinking about him doing
Yeah,
the Macho Man.
I think they were trying to do it out of respect, though. For Macho Man, which is I think
he's
why
got the whole
why
look.
they wanted
the beard, and I was Googling when we first saw him when he first came on. I'm like, oh, this guy has to be related to Randy Savage somehow.
I've seen him at a lot of FCW shows before it came NXT. He'd be out there playing his guitar just like he does on TV. Yep. And I'm like, who is this guy? Obviously, I knew he was a wrestler. I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
I mean, that whole gimmick, he lived it. He could do it.
Yep.
But it sucks. Hopefully they don't turn him into a Jackson Riker or something like that.
Yeah.
I think he's on the cut list.
So the one rumor I was going to touch on, it's not really WWE because she's not there anymore, but it was a rumor about Nia Jax that it was out there that Nia Jax was saying that she's not going to wrestle anymore. She's just going to go ahead and hang it up and retire. So to me, that actually kind of shocked me a little bit. I figured that she might actually go out there and attempt to wrestle for a different promotion or something, but she's not. She's like, no, I'm done. I'm just gonna hang it up and just call it quits. So, I mean, does that really surprise you guys, Joe? Does that really surprise you?
No, I don't think.
No.
I don't think she's going
Not
to
at all.
retire either. I think she's just trying because she's already said that she's going to go on what's her face's podcast and spill the beans about what's going on. So it could be just another work shoot thing. She wants to get her name out there, and the best way to do that is, people are backlashing on her for being careless in the ring and things like that. So what's the best way to do it is just
She's
do
going to
the
end
complete
up in
opposite.
a movie. She'll be in a movie. You watch. She'll be
Yeah,
in a
I think
movie
so,
that's
too. I think she's
produced
gonna
by
do a movie.
Dwayne.
So,
She'll be in
yeah.
a movie produced by Dwayne.
Yeah, but you don't believe that she's going to actually retire though?
I think
she'll end
she's
up
got
going
some
back?
issues she has to work on. She said, she came out and said that she was mentally sick and, did things. So I think that she just has some things to work on. I don't think it's, that rumor was that people that weren't vaccinated, they were letting go. I don't know. Hopefully that's not the case, but if that is, then that's something that WWE have to deal with down the road. But I just think she's going to take some time away, which is what she needs to do, get herself healthy, physically and mentally, and then just go from there. But I don't think she's done with wrestling. I think she might be just done for a while. Like Will says, go make a movie, just be
Hey,
nice.
the NFL is suspending people that aren't vaccinated. The NFL is
Mhm.
suspending you if you're not vaccinated.
Except for
So,
Rodgers.
I mean, yeah.
I know, Rogers.
My poor Antonio Brown got suspended.
I know. Well,
Hey, that's a
Antonio
different
had
scenario.
card.
That was a different scenario. But
At
but
least
anyways,
proved a fake card there. Rogers didn't prove anything.
Everybody's always picking on Antonio Brown.
oh yeah, everybody's always picking on him. But anyways, Big B, my question for you was going to be: Do you believe this Roman Reigns rumor also? How he came out and said, he could be retiring sooner rather than later, and that there's a speculation saying that once he drops the belt this time, that he's going to be done and he's going to go off into Hollywood.
I don't know. I mean, he is probably the biggest thing right now in wrestling. At least top 5 biggest things. And I mean, he's beat almost everybody in SmackDown. I mean, of course, we're going to have the Lesnar Roman match day one. Is he going to drop the title there? Which I think they were dumb to have that title match on SmackDown. I think they should have did a triple threat. I think they should have did a triple threat and somehow have Sammy.
Is that the head of the table?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they should have did a day one triple threat match and have somehow Sami Zayn weasel his way into the win, and then have him drop it that way. But
You think SmackDown ratings are horrible now? Put the title on Sami Zayn's.
well, I mean, because
I
he
got a
wasn't
better
going to.
chance of winning the thing.
Well, I do too.
It's a conspiracy theory.
But that's the
Okay.
whole thing. Now you can get him off the conspiracy theory, and then Lesnar comes in and just spears him, and he takes the title.
Well, they're
So
talking about that.
Bingo Hall
trilogy
Sammy.
spear. They're talking about that thing going
Bingo
all the way
Hall
up into
Sammy.
WrestleMania.
yeah.
Hey, it's a conspiracy. I'm telling you, it's a conspiracy.
Well, let's face this. When they do get to day one, though, he does surpass Brock Lesnar's record of holding the championship for the longest time
Well,
right now. So.
Speaking back on rumors, one rumor I heard is that they're trying to pull The Rock in after day one or at day one to have him come out and kind of throw out the challenge to Roman, that he's going to, do a promo that, I beat everybody, and then Rock's music hits, it comes out and goes, okay, we'll see, pretty much. I don't think it'll happen, but I can see Roman stepping away just like, Cena did and the Miz has done, and go away for a little bit and do a movie, do a TV show, do Dance with the Stars or something, and then come back.
I voted for him.
I voted for him.
Yeah, I just don't see The Rock coming out at day one. I just don't see it at all.
He's so tied up right now with movies and the XFL going to start up here in a couple of years that
Ticket sales are horrible to day one right now too. They haven't even pushed tickets very much. I think they're going to the 4,000 market. 4,000 so
Talk
far,
about
so.
horrible. XFL. Talk about horrible. Ooh.
I love
I
the
can't.
XFL, man.
Oh, I love
Wow.
it too. I can't wait for it to come back
Yeah.
out.
I
But
like the kickoffs, but yeah, that's a different topic for a different day.
I
So.
love the
absolutely.
He Hates Me jersey. That's the best thing ever.
So now when it comes down to it, we'll jump to our next topic, which is wrestling historical moments. So we're going to talk about Starrcade 1998 Goldberg streak. And this was kind of a interesting thing on how his streak ended. So Will, if you want to go ahead and kick us off with this one on what you thought.
Yeah, definitely. So, it's December, guys. It's almost the end of the year. December always makes me think of Starrcade. Starrcade was such a big deal back in the 90s. 1998 was no different. There was a lot of good matches on that event, but we'll focus specifically on Nash and Goldberg. Nobody thought, even at the end of the year, that Goldberg would lose that belt. However, there's always been rumors and speculation that Nash may have been involved in the booking to take the belt off of Goldberg and defeat him. So here's Goldberg, defeated absolutely everybody going into this event, won the title off of Hogan on Monday Nitro in the Georgia Dome at the time, which was huge deal. Georgia Dome back then, to fill the Georgia Dome was like selling out Madison Square Garden, because I think the Georgia Dome was like 40,000 seats or something like that. In Madison Square Garden's like 24,000 seats. So it was a huge deal. So they get to Starrcade and they tell Goldberg, we're going to take the belt off you. We're going to put it on Nash. And he's like, okay. And they're like, don't worry, we're going to put it back on you. So here's the thing. Everybody thinks of Goldberg as like this great WCW champion and all these things. Goldberg only actually had that belt for about 5-6 months and never won it again in WCW. But everybody thinks he was a great WCW champion. He only had it for that short run, lost it to Nash, never regained that title in WCW. It wasn't until 2003 in WWE, the end of 2003, also in December at the TLC pay-per-view, that he won it from Triple H in a three-way match. But that's a different story for a different day. So they get into this match. They can't figure out how they're going to let Nash, go over and beat Goldberg, even though Nash is a big, believable champion. So they end up bringing Hall in. Scott Hall comes in, hits him with the taser, tases him. Nash ends up powerbombing him, takes the belt. And the whole time Goldberg's thinking, well, I'm going to go out for a little while, take a little vacation time off and come back and win the championship. It's only a week and a half later, you got the finger poke of doom where Hulk Hogan and Nash square off on Monday Nitro, and Hogan gives the finger poke of doom to Nash, drops him, wins the world title back. Goldberg never really re-enters the title picture. He gets a couple title shots, but never does win it back. Ultimately, the following year, Goldberg's in the main event again, facing Bret Hart for the WCW World Championship. There's no winner declared, and Goldberg never regains that title. So a couple points being, number one, go back and watch that Starrcade 98. It was a really good match, really good event all around. But people that say, oh my gosh, Goldberg was this incredible champion and, unstoppable and all these other things. Goldberg had one of the shorter world heavyweight championship reigns of all time, if you think about it. And then if you look at his world heavyweight championship reign in WWE, it was very short too. And then you look at his universal world championships. Not that I'm putting down Goldberg. I love Goldberg just like a lot of other people do, and I think a lot of them. And I've met him personally as well, and I think highly of him personally. But, people think he was this incredible champion. He really wasn't. And he didn't have the days. If you were to add up all of his days as champion together, it probably would equal like 7 or 8 months. So that's your historical moment.
All right, Big B, any follow-ups on that?
No, I mean, I never really thought Goldberg was a great WCW champion because, like Will said, he only had it for a split second. So, I mean, he had the streak, don't get me wrong. I mean, nobody can doubt him with that. But, no, that led to the finger poke of doom and the rebirth of NWO Wolfpack with the black and white. And, so it started off things. But, yeah, I'm with Will, though. I mean, he should have probably got another title reign a little bit longer. I mean, 170 some days, I think I saw that he got it. I mean, yeah, I should have gave it to him again.
All right. Joe.
Yeah, unfortunately, his world title run was lackluster. I mean, he had the Halloween Havoc match with DDP. I mean, look at his opponents at the time when he won the title. He went into the pay-per-view against, I believe, Kurt Hennig and the Big Show or the Giant at the time, or one of them, I believe. Decimated them in a matter of minutes. He went into Road Wild. I think he fought in the that Battle Royal against the NWO. Then we go into September, which would have been Fall Brawl, and I'm just going off the top of my head because I don't even have the computer in front of me. He had another lackluster match, and then we have October, which was his best one with DDP, which we all know ended pay-per-view ended before the match was over with and cost WCW a lot of money. Then we go into November. Maybe he had Sting at that point, and then we go into December, and it's Kevin Nash. The only good thing about that one was a couple things. The stun gun was real. They wanted to do fake, and Goldberg said, "No, I can't do a fake stun gun." Now after that, they did, but when he got shocked, he got shocked. That was a real cattle prod that lit him up.
Wow.
But the problem, like Bischoff said, they didn't really know what the storyline. They built him up, and it was a fictitious number because one week you watch Nitro and he's at 15-0, and then 2 nights later on Thunder or whatever he's at 26-0. It's like, okay, how'd that happen? And so
Well,
I mean, the
did they
number was
tape-
fabric. It's up there, but I mean, he was undefeated to the point, but they didn't have an end game. They had no end game, and that's what Bischoff said. He said, we didn't really know where we're going with the streak. We know we had to end it. We just didn't know how to end it.
Yeah, and everybody knows my thoughts on Goldberg, and
You love him.
oh yeah. I'm just such a fan of Goldberg, which, we sit here and we talk about, the streak of Goldberg. So my question is that I have for you guys is, since we're talking about streaks, what to you was more impressive of a streak? Was it the Undertaker's WrestleMania streak, or was it Goldberg's undefeated streak to start his career? And so, Big B, what do you think? Which one to you was more impressive?
What was your first streak? I'm sorry, you kind of cut out on me.
The Undertaker's undefeated streak at Mania, or the overall, Goldberg streak?
Oh man, that's tough. I mean, I guess I gotta go with Taker streak because it happened on the biggest stage of them all, and there was rumors. I think 4 WrestleManias before it ended that they wanted to end it, and Taker kept saying no because he wanted somebody else to end it. And I think he wanted Edge at first, and I think they said no. So, but I gotta go with Taker streak.
Yeah, so you're definitely, you were right about that. I do believe that they asked Randy Orton too, and Randy Orton said no, and then Edge said no. So there was actually a few guys who said no, I don't want to break it. I think that it should keep going longer. And I know that people were kind of angry about the way that the streak ended with Brock Lesnar at Mania. A lot of people were like, I don't think that it should have ended like that.
Mm-hmm.
That a lot of people are saying that it should have ended with somebody like Roman Reigns or Kane or somebody like that. But Will, so which one to you was more impressive? Was it indeed Undertaker's streak, or was it Goldberg's?
Well, I mean, you got to remember, Goldberg's streak lasted for about 5 months. Undertaker's streak lasted 20 years. So, but the thing that always bothered me about Undertaker's streak, although I think it's much more impressive than Goldberg's, was, there's a lot of WrestleManias where the Undertaker wasn't even there. I mean, like WrestleMania 10 was kind of the biggest WrestleMania of all time back then, mid-90s, and Undertaker wasn't even there, So, I mean, kind of hard to have a streak when you had, missed some dates. I mean, he wasn't even there at that WrestleMania. But I get it, and I would definitely say his streak was better, and he had some incredible matches. But, it wasn't until he was like 7-0 that they even realized they had a streak. They just kept booking them to win. They didn't even realize he had a streak until finally they were like, hey, you realize you're undefeated at WrestleMania? And they were like, wow, we should go through this and, make it a challenge. And, it wasn't until probably, I would guess, maybe 18 or 19, WrestleMania 18 or 19, that they actually started saying, the streak versus this and the streak versus that. And, at 26, it was the streak versus Shawn's career. And at 28, it was the end of an era match, the streak versus Triple H. Even though what was really weird is after that happened, like nobody went anywhere or anything happened. Like they both just went back to their normal lives, end of an era. But, Undertaker returned the next year to wrestle at 29 against CM Punk, and Triple H returned a couple years later in the world title picture against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. So I don't know what the end of the era was, unless it was the fact that you weren't going to see Triple H and Undertaker again, but you'd already seen them 2 years back to back, at WrestleMania. So I don't know, but
and then you saw him in the
Undertaker's
tag match at
sorry.
Saudi Arabia.
Yes, yeah, later on, yeah, absolutely. But definitely the Undertaker streak was way more impressive. But like I was saying, Goldberg, he was incredible for the time. But if you ever ask people, how incredible was Goldberg? They're, oh man, he was an incredible champion. He was unstoppable. He was this, he was that. But if you look at the record books, he wasn't. And that was kind of the point I was trying to make with that whole thing.
All right, so Joe, how about you?
I'll say neither one of them were impressive. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna pull the MJF tonight. The Undertaker.
Joe's streak is more impressive.
That's right, man. I made it here just in the nick of time tonight, dude. Undertaker's, actually, I'll say this though. Both streaks were impressive, and they did its justice for what it was supposed to be for. I guess Goldberg's. I mean, that's a fictitious streak, but it served its purpose when he lost, and then we got to the finger poke of doom, and it created some new storylines out of it, and Goldberg kind of went away, and then he decided to smash his forearm in a window because he forgot that wasn't the breakaway window, and kind of ruined his momentum, and that was pretty well the end of Goldberg. He came back and did a couple things, but after that, it was over. The Undertaker streak, they really started talking about it once he beat Ric Flair. That's when Undertaker actually threw up his hand sign. If you remember, he counted on his hand when he had it there. So, like I said, a couple guys they talked about. Orton was one of them. Kurt Angle, Undertaker wanted Kurt Angle to do it one time, and Kurt Angle's like, nope, ain't doing it. These guys, and that shows you how much respect they had for the Undertaker. Is like they knew that they couldn't live up to the expectations after that. I mean, that's going to be a big thing when you knocked off the Undertaker, but
I don't even think Brock wanted to do it at first.
What's that?
I don't think Brock wanted to do it at first.
No, that whole match, they told the referee at the time, whatever happens in that ring, you have to, you count it. Period. So when Undertaker didn't kick out, I mean, the referee was shocked too. But that's what they said in that match was, whatever happens, count it. To the end. And I mean, we were all shocked. I was kind of shocked too. I was like, holy cow, did I just witness that? Because I didn't think I'd witness something like that. I thought he would just ride off into the sunset with it. But him and Brock are good friends, so I guess it's all right. But I wish if he would have ended the streak, it would have had to be to somebody that they were going to promote for the future. But I'm kind of glad that they didn't, because right now there's nobody that can carry the company other than Roman.
Bray Wyatt would have been the next one, I think, would have been the best fit.
But, though, I do want to throw this out because I do agree with Kev on this, and I've even said it before, is that I would have actually loved for Kane to actually end the streak. And it's only because of what they've done together. I would have absolutely loved for Kane to come out and actually end that streak. That would have been more than, like, that would have been the ultimate respect to be like, Kane, you and Taker have worked together for so long. You guys are supposed to be brothers. So we're going to go ahead and say, you know what, Kane, you win the streak. And I think the Undertaker would have been more okay with that.
Maybe,
Kane probably didn't want to.
He would have had to end it at the beginning, not at WrestleMania 20, because that would have been horrible, But
well, yeah, but because I think they wrestled I think it was like twice at WrestleMania. I think they had two matches at WrestleMania.
They had the first one at 15, I think it was 16, maybe somewhere in there, and
14.
then
14.
14.
Yeah,
Which was
because
a hard hitting match there. That was probably one
Yeah.
of the best ones. I enjoyed that one more. That was probably at the time as a kid, I was more or a teenager, more believable that Undertaker was going to lose because he had a guy that could match him move for move.
Yeah. They would have had to do it with Paul Bearer too in the mix somehow.
well, we can jump into our next topic, which is our Oh, look at that! Yes, I'm a huge Kane fan. Kane is my favorite. Kane is actually my favorite wrestler of all time. So
why didn't you buy the picture on Sunday, man? That was for
So
sale.
just so you know,
because I've already got the 3 of
I
them.
had an incredible time. I had a private signing with Kane last weekend. I had an incredible time talking to him. Incredible time getting stuff signed. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you got to tell me that you got to
Will,
meet
I got
Kane,
a
and
question
yet I have
about that
not yet.
picture. I got a question about that picture, Will. The Kane Undertaker
Yeah.
one. What would that be worth with the Taker signature on there? That's the answer I was going to
About
get.
$350.
Well,
About
he's doing that
$350.
private sign. He's doing that signing in Texas. So I mean, that's
Yeah,
I was waiting for Joe to like give me that laughing answer because that would have to be almost
About
priceless
$350.
because we know.
I would love. I'm
how
not
much
gonna, like.
is the
I
Kane
would
at?
love to meet
How
Kane.
much is it worth without him on there right now? What's Kane going for?
Oh, that's nice.
Oh man, I got so many of these done. I was giving these away, Joe, on Sunday. I was giving.
I
These
know you
away,
were.
basically.
That's the thing.
But that was the debut, right?
Here's the
Okay.
I bought some figures on
Yeah,
Sunday. I didn't buy
that's the debut. Nobody else has these. I got these done. I've only got a couple left. I was only charging $35 for the debut ones, and then I was doing $30 on the rest of them because I got so many of them done.
I do have
I
3
missed out
Kane
on that.
autos.
I would have snagged one. I didn't even. I might have to add to my list.
I know.
Yeah.
You're making this
My
tough
wife's
now,
over there
Will.
in the corner listening to this whole
No,
thing.
I'm just telling you what I was doing. I'm not trying to sell right now. I'm just telling you what I was
No,
doing.
go ahead, try to sell.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Hey,
You try and sell. You do what you got to do.
You're mate. You
My wife always wants to see who my bromance is, so I'm gonna show her the man here soon, so he can get hollered at when.
But no, like I told you before, you make it hard to not pull up PayPal.
All I'm saying is nobody else had these images. I'm the only one that got these done. You can't find these anywhere signed.
No, and that's a really nice looking autograph too.
That is nice.
That's a really nice one.
Good.
So let's go ahead
Look
and
how
jump
ripped he
into our
was
next.
back in the day too, man. Holy cow, coming in there, he was a freaking monster.
Yep, I taught him that. So anyway, so anyway, so we go ahead and jump to our next topic, which is our item of the week, which is WWE home videos, which are coming to an end in 2022. So they're no longer going to make the home videos anymore for WWE.
Right.
Interesting.
So I would like to start this topic. So being a kid, going to the mailbox, we talked about this before, when you had to order your videos that, you got the thing in the mail in the magazine that showed the videos were going to be released. They cost like $39.95. You had to fill out the order form. You had to fill out the check. You had to send the check off. It took like 2 or 3 weeks to process the check. Then they got your order ready. Then they sent your order. It took like 3 weeks to get it back. So you waited like 6 weeks to get your video in the mail. I mean, that's how long it was back then. So like a 6-week process. And, WWE, WF video goes all the way back to 1985. That's how far back they go, back to when tapes were on beta. That's how far back it goes. And, I grabbed a VHS tonight just to kind of show you guys. This is a Coliseum video from back in the day. Just an old school. I had to talk and sign this one, but this is old school, video from back in the day. And it's truly an end of an era, to not think that you're going to be able to pick up the latest pay-per-view on DVD or, any of that stuff anymore. These compilation DVDs like they did with the Rise and Fall of WCW, the Attitude Era, all that stuff's going away. It's all going to digital. So truly the end of an era. And, it's a shame because like our kids will never know that excitement and that joy of going in the mailbox and, you know, their tape or their DVD or whatever coming in the mail, you know, and having that feeling. That was such an exciting time as a kid for us. And, you know, that's kind of come to an end, you know, and back then too, you really couldn't go to very many stores and buy the tapes and stuff like that. You know, you had to go to a specialty store like Sam Goody, which they don't even have Sam Goody anymore. But you had to go to like a specialty store to get the tapes, or you had to order them from the catalog and wait like 6 to 8 weeks to get it. So
Or you had
truly
to
the
rent
end of
them
an
from
era.
Hollywood Video.
Yeah, and a lot of times when they rented them so many times, you know, they would say, "Hey, you know, you rented this 3 or 4 times. You want to just buy it for $5 or $10 or whatever?"
Yep.
And I would literally buy them from the video stores, you know, because I rented them so many times as a kid. But you know, I think only the real old school, true old school fans realize how big of a deal it is to see that come to an end. It's kind of like back in 2014 when the WWE magazine ended. You know, WWF magazine started in 1984 and it was a huge deal. And, you know, at first it was a bi-monthly issue and then it became a monthly issue. And that was such an exciting thing as a kid. And then in 2014, it came to an end. And, you know, that sucked. And that was 7 years ago now. You know, it doesn't seem like it, but it was 7 years ago. And now here it is going into 2022. No more DVDs. Even to this day, you know, at 39 years old, I still go into, you know, Walmart or Target or wherever and check the DVD section to see if there's a new DVD that's come out that I don't already have. And, you know, it's just sad to think that that's come to an end and how much the world has changed. But they say the production of the DVDs doesn't match the sales. Nobody buys them anymore because everybody watches it on digital. So I don't know.
Yep.
I mean, I have hundreds of DVDs and VHS tapes from collecting them from when I was a kid. So I don't know, but they say nobody buys them.
All right. So we have Michael who's saying still have all my VHSs from way back in the day too.
I had the WrestleMania box set that they had. I think it was the first 13 WrestleManias or 15 WrestleManias they sold all together. I have that.
Me too.
I have every WrestleMania. You know, I have the box set, and then everyone after that. So I got almost every SummerSlam, every Survivor Series. I got the SummerSlam that came in a cool little box and stuff. So my wife told me I had to move all my stuff out to the shed, though. So my collection's going away, just like the WWE collection's going. Yeah. My man's going out there. So if you guys don't ever see me at the house anymore, we'll be out there watching my DVDs.
I actually started buying the Funko Pops too, the WWE Funko Pops.
I'm not big into those, unfortunately. Probably a good thing though for my wife, but it's a shame because I'm like Will. You know, I'm 41, and I go to the video store, and they always had the back in the day NWA and WWE up there. I would watch them, you know, and go to the stores and buy them, you know, or like Will says, get them out of the magazine. Had to wait 6 to 8 weeks if you're lucky. You're hoping, you know, waiting to get it home every day. Open that mailbox to see if it's in there, and it's just the changing of the times. It sucks, but
well, it is because you can go on Peacock now and watch, you know, a lot of.
Well, that's just it. WWE is becoming exclusive. They don't want no competition out there. I mean, you're still going to get wrestling DVDs from other places, but WWE's, like Will's been saying, it's exclusive to Peacock. They don't want Peacock doesn't want nobody to have the money but them. So if you want to watch WrestleMania from 10 years ago, unless you can buy the DVD, you're going to have to buy the Peacock, and that's what they're forcing everything to is go to the Peacock. So some of these DVDs that are out there that I don't have, I mean, they're going to cost some money eventually if I ever want to get them, unless they put them on the Peacock.
All right, Brandon.
Yeah, no, it's when I saw the news that they're going to stop making them. I mean, I don't buy them as much as Will and Joe do, but it's just a sad era that's coming to an end. I mean, yeah, I walk through with my son, at Walmart, and he's like, "Dad, look at WrestleMania's here. Oh, look at SummerSlam. We watched that. It's out. We should get it." It's like, no, bud, we got the Peacock. We don't need But yeah, no, it's a sad time.
Yeah, it's definitely because when I was younger and I would watch the pay-per-views and stuff, I would actually take blank VHS tapes and I would actually record them and then
Yep.
I would save them.
Yep.
That's pretty much what I did. So I never actually went out and bought them. I would just record and save. And then if there was something that came out, I might be like, well, I might get it or something. And I used to collect the action figures all the time. Like that was always fun. But I would never keep them in the box. I would actually take them out. And then of course I would play with them. I was a kid. So that was something that I enjoyed. I love making my own matches and stuff like that. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see that they're going away from all the DVDs and stuff. So just imagine if you come across a VHS tape. I know that they don't sell for a whole lot now, but imagine maybe one day they might actually be worth money. These VHS tapes, they might be. And I can imagine, Will and Joe probably have a ton of VHS tapes that are not recorded.
Actually, honestly, I don't anymore. Will does. I think the only VHS tapes I got is like for the birth of my kids when they would show them on the video screens and then they record them and you can take them home and show your family. That's the only thing I got. I don't think I have any VHS tape. I don't even own a VCR, so anymore. I honestly don't have any VHS tapes. I can say that other than I think 3 for my kids. That's it.
Yeah, you can always get the VHS and the DVD combo, but
You can, and TNA selling us. Well, they sold out the Slammiversary VHS one that they just made on their shop.
I didn't know that they made a VHS.
They did for their anniversary, and they're talking about doing more VHS tapes. So I guess maybe TNA is going to be, or Impact's going to bring VCRs back
as a gimmick. It was a gimmick thing, but yeah, they did.
Definitely as a gimmick. That is interesting. But since that was the end of that, we have just a little bit of time left, so I kind of have one final question that I kind of wanted to ask everybody because as everybody saw that Ring of Honor's technically right now they're kind of gone, but they're saying that they're coming back at some point. But to me, I don't know if you'll actually see them come back because I don't know if they're going to have anybody really to sign unless they really go out on the indie market and try and sign people. So, Big B, do you think that Ring of Honor will actually come back?
That's tough. I think they're definitely dealing with the effects of the COVID issues, shutdown of last year. Could they come back? Probably. They got great people probably behind them, but like you said, Ace, who are they going to target? Are they going to target the guys that are free agents that haven't wrestled, or are they going to go indie guys, or are they going to call Will and Joe up to make a tag team and they can join ROH? I don't know, but if they come back, they come back.
I will come out of retirement.
Here's the bigger question, though. Here's the bigger question: who cares if they come back?
You and I do, because I guess we're going to be a tag team. So I guess we got to go work somewhere.
Yeah, I can see it now. Joe and Will versus Ace and Mess Around, in a nice tag team match for the ROH titles. Why not? Book it.
Well, no, I was just curious because people were talking about it, so I was just curious,
No, on a serious thing.
Back.
Well, there's a rumor around that they had an arena already. They've already paid for an arena ahead of time for their Super Card of Honor that they were supposed to do. They're supposed to come back in March and April, but they said if they do come back, they're going to go after whoever's free because all their talent majority of their talent is free come January 1st, but they do have a couple of their talent that's still under contract until March and April. They have a little longer term contract still. So they could take some of those, but they already said they would go after whoever's free. But as you see, a lot of them are silent already.
Yeah.
But seriously,
and that's another end of an era too.
Who's buying the Ring of Honor pay-per-view? Who's buying that?
And they're calling it era.
Right?
It's like
that's why they went away
right now. I don't even know who half of the guys are. That's a shame.
Yeah.
But it sucks because I grew up watching Ring of Honor, obviously, and I mean they were another one that started out with DVD sales, and that's how it grew. And look at all the great talent that came through there, unfortunately. So it's a shame. I mean, for those guys, but I know a lot of them will find work, and that's the biggest thing. Is just
if they come back, they'll be a big hit. Like it's like, oh my god, Ring of Honor's coming back. Let's see what they have. So the first few months they'll get the sales that they want, but after that, like Will said, who cares?
Maybe they'll get Bryan Danielson and CM Punk since they're allowed to work other companies. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get the ratings up for a week.
All right, since we're at that, Mark, we'll go around the room one more time, finally get our final thoughts or whatever. So, Big B, I'll start with you. Any final thoughts?
No, I'm always glad to sit down and talk with Joe and Will. Learn a lot, Joe, or Will. I mean, you got great stories. I'm meeting people. I love hearing them. Love seeing the merch. You make it hard not to join your guys' show on Sundays to buy, but I love watching it. Check me and Ace out tomorrow on Sports Minute.
All right, and then Will, any final thoughts for you, sir?
No, man. Like I said, it's just been a rough, long, 10-day time period. Being tired and trying to get over this cold/flu, and then, I've got this weekend. I've got a signing on Saturday with Rikishi, and then on Sunday, I've got a toy show that I'm doing where we're selling toys and stuff, and then we leave out that following Thursday to go to Philly for Icons of Wrestling for that event. So we'll be up there. So it's a hectic schedule right now. The month of December is crazy, and then the following weekend after Icons is Christmas. The following weekend is New Year's, and then we go into the new year, and then we've got a convention booked every single month all the way from here until June. 1 month we got 2 conventions booked. We're bringing in talent to a lot of these different shows. We just we got a talent signed today that we're taking into a show in March. And man, I tell you, I'm just tired and trying to get all these dates, planned and all that stuff. And really looking forward to it. So glad we got to get back on here. I know it's been a little while since we got on here and really got through this whole thing with the holidays, but glad we got back together on this, and keep tuning in, checking us out. We got a lot going on, a lot of great stuff to talk about. And, like I said, I wanted to show some of that merch because I was so proud of some of the signings we did. We had quite a few signings with some folks this past weekend. It wasn't just Kane. It was a lot of different people that, we had some signings with. We got a lot of new merchandise that we showed this past Sunday, and then going into the new year, got a lot of great stuff coming. So thank you guys for having us, and thank you to Top Rope Collectibles for all the support behind me and Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. And that's really all I got. Joe?
I got nothing. I got to meet up with you this weekend. I got to pick up a nice little Tatanka turnbuckle, man, and my other stuff I bought this past week. I got to hook up with you at some point this weekend. No,
in the Target parking lot, right?
Yeah, it probably will be. Or at the mansion. He doesn't let me go inside the mansion yet. I'm up to the gate, so I might be able to get to the gate.
It's because of the dogs. It's because of the dogs.
You're getting closer. I'm getting
closer. But no, I enjoy it. And there's no more TRC shows for the rest of the year, which I found out this past Sunday. So I don't know what I'm going to do on Sundays this weekend.
Between the ropes.
I ain't going to be able to spend no money. That'll make my wife happy. She's saying thank God over there in the corner right now. That's why I didn't show her to the show on Sunday, because I wouldn't have been able to buy anything. But no, I enjoy it, guys. I really do. It's my my drug of choice, just to be able to get out and let loose for a little bit. And now my wife kind of gets to see it a little bit and sees how much fun I get to have in it. So maybe she'll lay off of me when I buy my little action figures and I go in the bedroom and play with them and take Vader and Powerbomb Disco Inferno like 10 times like Will likes. So
I love it.
That's right.
I love it. He's got another Kane auto. I love it. Yeah, so I definitely want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank Will and Joe and Big B, of course, for being on the show tonight. It was a pleasure to be back on. It's been, a couple weeks since we've been on, so we had a lot to talk about. And it was another great show. So thank you, everybody, for watching. And you can catch us next Tuesday for another episode of Tuesday Night Mania. So everybody have a great night, and we'll see you next week.